All right? We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of this wicked society and the upliftment of Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and their descendants on the father's side of Negroid and Indian descent. To tell them that they are the true children of Israel, the true children of God. All right? We'll start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim for preaching this word and believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. All right? And our elders have deemed this to be a prophecy, man, and surely it has become, and it's being made manifest, all right? You know what, let's get Second Esdras, the 9th chapter, the 1st verse. Because you got forest fires, you got wildfires, you got earthquakes in diverse places, you got wars, you got rumors of wars, you got famine. All of these things are the beginning of sorrow, man. As Yahawashi has told us from the days of old, man. You got it,
Second Esdras, chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the time, that it is the very same time, wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Exactly, and we're in the time where the Lord is starting to visit the world in which he created. And the way he's going to visit it is with death and destruction. Because the majority of this planet is not moving with the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, man. The Lord gave certain commandments. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments, man. The Lord is a power of action, man. Not of just words, man. You can't just say that you love the Lord. You got to show the Lord that you love him, man. And because this world does not acknowledge the law of the Lord, but yet they despise it, the Lord is going to bring swift judgment to this place, man. The Lord says he's going to bring famine, pestilence, which is diseases, all right? Martial law, earthquakes, wildfires, hurricanes. All of these things are the beginning of sorrows, man. The Lord is going to thoroughly judge this place for all of the wickedness that's going on, man. 2/3 of our people are going to be put to death along with the rest of these heathens for acting like heathens, man.
Second Esdras, chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
And you got men of Negro, Latino, Native American descent on all highways and hedges across the globe telling you of what's coming, man. And these people are too simple to understand. But nobody has a problem with what's going on into the world until it's in their own backyard, man. Then there's no more partying. Then they're ready to get up and take action. But it's going to come a time where all of the calamities people are looking at on the news is going to actually take place in their own backyard, man. Especially America, the daughter of Babylon, man. The Lord said the virgin daughter of Babylon shall be utterly destroyed. This city was built on violence, and thus with violence shall it be taken down. The scriptures talk about that, man. Woe unto the city woe to the city that's full of robbery and lies, man. You got it, right?
It's in Psalms, chapter 85, verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven.
And that's what you have on the highways and hedges, man. Truth and righteousness being spoken in a world that's full of wickedness, man. That's why folly is set in great dignity, man. And the wise sit, the rich sit in low place, man. Because the majority of these people don't have wisdom, man. Wisdom don't live in the vessels of most of these people, man. We talk about this all the time. Everybody got a smartphone and they stupid, man. Everybody got access, unlimited access to all this information, and the only thing they use it for is Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and all other kind of simple things, man. There's no wisdom in the majority of these people. That's why the Lord is going to put the majority of these people to death, man. And you're starting to see that with the northern, the California wildfires, the Greece wildfires, the earthquakes in diverse places, the famine in Venezuela. It's going to actually take place on the planet Earth, in America and abroad, man. It's not just going to stay in those secluded areas. It's going to touch first world countries as well.
Psalms chapter 12, verse 6. Words of the Lord are pure words, as silk tried in the furnace of earth, purified 7 times.
Yeah, and this is an article, and you can see it says the death toll up to 94 in fire at Greek seaside resort, man. And that's not even counting what's going on in California, man. The Lord is starting to bring prophecy to pass, man. You gotta bring it out. Yeah, I see you.
Luke chapter 12, verse 49. I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it be already kindled?
And it's already starting to kindle, man. And this is only the beginning of sorrows, man. We're entering into the time of the beginning of judgment, man. The great judgment is upon us, but this is only the beginning of sorrows, man. Because until it actually touches the mother of all harlots, man, the whore that sealed upon many waters, the judgment hasn't even reached its full potential, man. We at the pre-show. This is like when you sit in the movie theater and you watch all the trailers to the movies. We're not even at the main event yet, man. This is the opening act to YAHAWASHI's movie, man. Judgment Day is about to take place on the earth, and every man, woman, and child is going to be affected, man. These Americans walk around this earth proudly and walk around this city proudly because it hasn't touched them yet, man. But everybody's comfortable, like you said before, until it's in your own backyard, man. Until you starve, until your neighborhood Walmart closed. Then it's a problem. The simplicity of these people is going to get them destroyed, man. You got it, right?
Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire,
right,
and with the chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire.
And these forest fires and these wildfires are only the beginning of the Lord's wrath, man. The Lord ain't really opened up yet, man. And the Lord told us thousands of years ago that he was going to show his full wrath and show his strength on the planet Earth, man. I mean, he gave us thousands of years head start to prepare ourselves for this moment, man. And the people of this world are still carrying on about like they're going to make it out of this judgment. The Lord said that the righteous shall scarcely be saved, man. And we know YAHAWASHI through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, and we're nervous. How much more should these people who have not made the Lord their tower, man, who have not made the Lord their shield, man, who out here clubbing thinking that this whole world is going to end up like this going to be season 6 of Insecure, man. No, the Lord's going to put this place to death, man. It's going to be free before 11:30, and then it's going to be death and destruction. Overnight, like a thief in the night, man.
Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
Yeah, so it says that the slain of the Lord is going to be many, man. That Lord that's all love in the Christian church ain't the one in the Bible, man. That's what lets you know that the majority of these Christians, if not all of them, are going to be put to death, man. For investing in a vain philosophy, man. For not actually studying to show themselves approved, man. Because if you actually read the book, you know what's going down, man. You know what's coming. And the Lord has commanded us to speak prophecy in the ears of the people, man. To tell them what's coming to pass before it comes to pass, man. Salvation is not the only message that the Lord has for the world, man. Judgment and destruction is also a part of his message, man. And we witnessing prophecy, man. You got it.
It's Amos chapter 5, starting at verse 16. Therefore the Lord, the power of hosts, the Lord said thus, wailing shall be in all the streets.
Right.
And they shall say in all the highways, alas, alas. And they shall call the husbandmen to mourning, and such as are skillful of lamentation to wailing.
Right.
Verse 17. And in all the vineyards shall be wailing, for I will pass through thee, saith the Lord, YAHAWASHI. Verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord.
Right.
To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
Yeah, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light, man. It's gonna be a very cold day in that day, man. The Lord, this is what the Lord's mercy looks like right now, man. This is what the Lord giving people grace right now looks like, man. When judgments really start pouring out on the earth, it's gonna be a point. That's when the mercy doors are closed, man. It's not gonna be no judgment where all the spirits are in line and then they get to decide. The Lord decide, all right, I'm gonna put you in hell. You get to go to heaven. Where it's like a club line. No, the Lord is gonna bring out judgments on the planet Earth, man. And we witnessing it.
going into how you can't even run from that judgment, right? Back in Amos 5, verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into his house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. 20, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness is in it?
And shall it not be darkness and not light? Because look at the world and its condition, man. Look at the attitude and the sentiment towards the laws of the Lord, man. Look at how people have proudly used the liberty and grace that the Lord has given them to be malicious, man, to willfully sin, man. Is this not the day? Should that day not be dark? If your pops came home and everything he told you to do, you didn't do, would that not be a dark day in your house, man? The Lord is going to bring the fear in is going to put the fear in these people, man. Judgment is going to increase, man, and it's going to be grievous. It's not going to be quick. This shall not be quick and easy, man. You're not going to have a nice, swift exit out of this planet, man. The Lord is going to make it grievous, and all your thoughts are going to plague you, just like the Egyptians, man. The Lord didn't just destroy them in one fatal swoop. He gave them he gave them plagues. He massaged the judgment into them, man. I'm gonna start off with a little grievance, then I'm gonna turn the oven up. And what we witnessing is the Lord starting to turn the oven up, literally, man. You got heat waves that's touching areas that are usually cold and snowing, man. The Lord is bringing judgment on this planet, man, and these people are too simple to understand that, man. But the simplicity of these people are going to get them destroyed.
You're doing a great job.
You got it. I'll bring it up.
I got a precept.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say this. And when he said, if a man did flee from a lion, okay, if you're running from a lion in that day, man, if you're running from a lion and you get away from the lion, and then you get met by a bear, man, okay, and we know what bears do, man, especially grizzlies, man. Okay, now if you happen to get away from a grizzly, man, and you run into a house and you got your hand on the wall trying to catch your breath, and then a serpent bites you, man, hey, that's the Lord gonna be coming down with wrath, man.
Exactly, and that's because all of these people are proud, man. They self-loving, proud people, man, with no knowledge.
And you will not escape from the Lord judgment.
You're not gonna escape. Hold up, before you get into that, just to make a add on to your point, because this is how the Lord is gonna feel about all of those things that the brother just brought out, man. Proverbs 1:25, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. So all of these proud ass people that walk around this planet thinking that they know something and making this world their refuge and their strength, trusting in the American military and the government, thinking that this place is going to exist forever. When the calamity reaches you, the Lord is going to laugh at your calamity, man. Just like you mock the prophets, the Lord is balanced. He's going to laugh at you when that destruction that the prophets were telling you comes to pass, man.
It's Joel chapter 2, verse 3. A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burner. The land is as the garden of Eden.
She needs to be born again.
Before them.
She needs to be born again. She's ready.
This is Joel chapter 2, verse 3. A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burner. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them.
And that's what we're going into. That's the times we're in now, man. Not only with Greece, but California, man. Let's talk about California. A lot of these rich people are being affected by these flames, man. About these, with these fires coming in these areas, man. Northern California, Southern California, all these people that stay in these areas that's being affected, a lot of them are the rich, man. That's it. You got it.
Just heavy because when you look at balance, right? Going back into the Lord laughing at our calamities, right? And that's deep because in this world, we're supposed to be made a spectacle unto men, right?
Right.
Now, that men is referring to what? The men of this world.
Right.
The men in this society with these indoctrinations and these philosophies of this world, man. But look how it is. When the Most High ushers in his salvation, man, and those calamities come, it's going to be vice versa because you guys, you know what I'm saying, the wicked, the heathen, 2/3 of our people are going to be made a spectacle onto the Most High. And obviously, that's going to trickle down to YAHAWASHI, the angels, and onto the elect, man. They're going to be laughing at, hey, when YAHAWASHI is laughing at your calamities, man, the elect are gonna laugh too. Remember, they're gonna get a seat, man.
Right.
They're gonna get a seat in the chariot and watch this, man. You know? That's just,
It's Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherein the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
Let's get it.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes. And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
and what weapon on the planet Earth is capable of consuming somebody's tongue and their eyeballs and their socket and their tongue and their mouth, man? And look, just go and Google the aftermath of the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. Those bombs are so hot that people's shadows actually got burnt into the concrete, man. And that was on the atomic level. So when the so-called white man uses his nuclear bombs that he has, hey, trust and believe, people are gonna turn into ash where they stand, man. You know? Go ahead, huh?
This Revelation, this is Jude chapter 1, verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication,
Right.
and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Likewise also these filthy dreamers defile their flesh,
Right.
despise dominion, and speak evil of dignity.
Back to example.
Jude chapter 1, verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example,
Hey,
suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Slocky, when you're dealing with YAHAWASHI, he's a just power, man. There's nothing he did where he can leave, where anybody can say, oh, I didn't get a chance to understand this, or I didn't understand what this was about, or what the repercussions of this, man. The Most High always sets up examples. He sets up examples for his righteous, which is YAHAWASHI, and he sets up his examples for his wicked, man, namely Esau. But the Most High set up Sodom and Gomorrah, why? To get destroyed. So that in this day, in the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, we know what's gonna happen and what's gonna take place, man. Because the Most High set up an example, man. Hey, the things that are written before time are written for our learning, man. And Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed for the learning of the elect, man. You know? Sorry.
Isaiah 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire and bring forth an instrument for his works. And I have created the waster to destroy.
Exactly, and that's what the Lord used. He used, and we haven't even gotten to the meat and potatoes of judgment, man. Right now it's just a couple forest fires. Right now it's just a couple rumors of war. But eventually the nuclear missiles are gonna play their part, man. You got it.
Isaiah chapter 34, starting from the top. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. Verse 2, for the indignation, which is, righteous anger of the Most High, is upon what? All nations, and his fury upon all their armies.
Yeah.
He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. And that's, that's World War III, man. Because when you go into Joel, the 3rd chapter, the Lord said he was going to gather all nations into the valley of Jehoshaphat. And the Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat, which is the Most High judges, man. Yahweh judges, But the scripture says he's destroyed them, man. So really and truly, the Most High spoke it. It already happened, man. It didn't happen in our eyes, but it already happened, man. The Most High already got rid of America, man. Them to the slaughter. Verse 3, their slain shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Verse 4, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaves falleth off of the vine, and as a falling fig from the tree. Now, if you spiritual, what's that talking about? A lot of these Christians hold our book, but you want to destroy a Christian, man, you just get into the simple prophecies, man. Which takes the spirit of YAHAWASHI to have to be dealing with you, man, to get these breakdowns, man. What's Isaiah 34:4 talking about? That scroll, if you want to break it down, I actually brought it out. Yeah, Isaiah 35, I'll read Isaiah 34:4 again. I'll read from, and the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Now, how did the heavens, what heavens is that talking about? That's talking about the skies, man. How are they going to be rolled together like a scroll? It's talking about a mushroom cloud, you know? As soon as a nuclear missile detonates on the earth, what happens? It looks like the heavens are rolling up in a scroll, man. That's talking about that mushroom cloud, man. You know? So that, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, so the Most High's indignation is on its way, man. And the brothers was beautifully bringing that out, man.
Yeah, I want to make a point. I'm going to make 2 points. Bring this out again because I gotta make these join together to the hill. It's Isaiah 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that blow up the clothes in the fire and bring forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. Now we know that waster is talking about those ICBMs, the intercontinental ballistic missiles, okay, that they testing everywhere.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna bring this out to back that up. Now this is John on the island of Patmos, when he was describing those missiles, and he thought it was horsemen, men on horses, but he didn't understand what it was.
Right.
So this is Revelation chapter 9, verse 16. And what he saw was, what I just read in Isaiah 54 and 16, he saw those wasters that the Lord created, that smith to create those wasters to destroy, which is them ICBMs. This is Revelation chapter 9, verse 16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these three was the third part of man killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths.
Yeah, and the Lord had given all of our forefathers prophecies, man. Every prophet was receiving their measure, and a lot of times the prophet's measures would be similar. That way you could cross-check and confirm it, man. You know, Zechariah described it as a scroll. You know, John saw it as the heads of lions, the horsemen. All right.
Oh yeah.
All of our forefathers saw these visions, but they didn't necessarily have the understanding to break them down, man. You got it.
Let me bring this out. It's Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise,
right,
and garments rolled in blood.
Right.
But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Because in the ancient world, men set up in formations, and they had very primitive tools, man. Even though they were advanced for that time, they were very primitive in comparison to the modern warfare, man. Everybody played a game, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and they understand that but they actually got weapons like this, man. And they're gonna actually use them. The Lord didn't have these weapons so they could sit in a museum, a war museum. They're gonna actually play out, man, and they're gonna desolate this earth. You got it.
Let me send it real quick. Now in this precept that I just brought out, in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5, it say, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. And that's how they used to fight in the ancient time. Okay, they used to line up on each side of the battlefield and charge out at each other. That's what John saw in the Isle of Patmos, that he thought those missiles were actually men on horses ready to charge out to battle, but those are those ICBMs.
To back you up, this is Joel chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 3. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth, and the land is as the Garden of Eden before them. And behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, nothing shall escape them. Verse 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as the horsemen so shall they run. Verse 5, like the noise of chariots on tops of mountains shall they leap.
Right.
And the noise of the flame of fire, talking about that afterburner, man. That's that rocket that's gonna propel these ICBMs, which is really the warhead. You know, ICBM stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. You got the warhead. Then at the back, the rest of that missile is what? Is the engine that propels it from point A to its target, man.
Like a circuit.
Right, Khan. It says, like the noise of the chariots on the tops of mountains, so they shall leap. Talking about takeoff. like the noise of the flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people sent in the battle array. Verse 6, before their face the people shall be much painted, all the faces shall gather blackness. Verse 7, they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb up the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Right, these missiles, when they get their GPS, you know, location or their target, hey, those missiles mid-flight, they're not gonna turn to the left, they're not gonna rock to and fro, man. Those missiles are gonna go from a straight line from point A to point B, man. You know, and that's why when you read verse 8, it says, neither shall one thrust, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. So these missiles, there's gonna be so many missiles that they're gonna be flying basically in a tight-knit formation, like the brother brought out, and how they used to fight in the ancient world, how they used to have ranks, you know?
Wave after wave.
Wave after wave, man. You know? Ranks, squadrons, you know, however, you know. But that's how these missiles are gonna come to America, man. They're gonna, hey, there's gonna be so much, you ain't gonna be able to see the sun, man. You know? It says, verse 8, neither shall one thrust and another, they shall walk every one his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Verse 9, they shall run to and fro. Oh my God. Woo! They shall run to and fro in the city. Now, this is not talking about actual men. This is talking about those missiles hitting the ground, man. When it says they're going to run to and fro, man, these missiles are going to hit city after city after city after city. That shockwave, that mushroom cloud spoken about in Isaiah 34, when it says the heavens roll together like a scroll, you know? Verse 9, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the horses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief, man. That's talking about that fiery blast, man, that shockwave, man. You know, going into Zechariah saying that people's tongues are going to consume away in their mouth, man. You know, that's why it talks about the sea of glass in Revelation, man. You know, how is glass made, man? Glass is made when sand is burnt at a very high temperature, man. You know? So, hey, man. Well, Yahawashi now Shah's getting ready to return with thing.
It's Isaiah chapter 13, verse 4. The noise of the multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord, Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashai of hosts, mustered the hosts of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and his weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
And the Lord is going to destroy America with these missiles, man. The Lord is going to use these ICBM missiles to destroy this place and places abroad, man. The Lord said that his word does not come back to him void, man.
Yeah, can I say this too? And you know what's beautiful about these prophecies we're bringing out? Hey, that's current, man. Just watch the news. Watch what this country's president is doing, man. He's only destabilizing relations with NATO and allied nations, and further destabilization whatever was going on with Iran, North Korea, and Russia, man. So we're watching these prophecies get ready to come to pass right here before our very eyes, man. Hey, America's enemies are gonna send nukes over here, and guess what? America's allies are also gonna send nukes over here, man. Because America got its allies through fear with the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. That's how you got your allies. That wasn't genuine. That was through fear, man, and fear mongering. If you can't beat them, just join them, man. Guess what? These other nations, they're already pissed off that you ain't signed the nuclear deal with Iran. That didn't just involve America, man. That involved what? France? That involved a bunch of other countries, man. Hey, when America got its guard down, these other nations are gonna sneak their nukes in too, man, and get this bully the fuck out of here, man. But that's really the will and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. You know? Yeah, right.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand.
Right.
And it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt.
And the lofty looks of man are going to be humbled in that day. Right now, people can look, they can scoff, they can laugh as they walk by.
You believe in Jesus Christ?
We believe in Yahawah Shah HaMashiach, the one that you ignorantly call Jesus, yes.
that I, as a white person, ignorantly called.
What did I say about white?
No, people in
Just
general.
get up the
I
street.
already
Just go
talked
up the
to
street.
you.
Have a
I
good
already
night.
talked
Just
to
have a good night.
Yeah,
Just have a
I've
good
been
night.
shamed by your tone.
Well, that's good.
And you're not white, by the way. You're red.
I'm pink.
You're red, yeah. You're medium red, like the meat.
Yeah.
But go ahead, come on, man.
You're haters.
Isaiah chapter
Let her go.
13.
Let her go.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 7. Therefore all hands shall be faint,
Right.
and every man's heart shall melt,
Right.
and they shall be afraid. Pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames.
Exactly. And we're in the time of the Lord repaying the hate that was given, man. You sown hate. Your nation has sown hate all throughout the planet. And now when the bill is due, nobody want to receive it. Everybody trying to dine and dash on the bill of judgment, man. But YAHAWASHI has different plans for you, man. That we will return and build a desolate place. The spirit is about to be turned into nothing, man. It's about to be brought to naught, man.
I got you.
The so-called white man's pride and his other affiliates, their pride and their confederacy is being destroyed before their eyes. The brother was bringing out how the NATO and the EU are having issues within themselves, man. That's the will and power of YAHAWASHI. The trade wars, the trade tariffs that are starting to affect the allies of this nation. Trump gassing up with the pride that America had 50 years ago when they actually had power. It's gonna get this whole thing started, man.
When their money was worth something, your money ain't worth shit now.
But that's what the followers of Yahawashi were supposed, the one they ignorantly called Jesus, that's what they're supposed to be talking about. Prophecy. It said the spirit of the Lord is prophecy, man. If you're not speaking according to this book, there's no light in you, man. Because you giving one side of the message of the Lord is not gonna is not fulfilling the purpose of what the prophets were sent here to do in the last days, man. They were speaking pestilence, famine, destruction. Salvation is not the only message that the Lord is speaking of in these last days, man. There's a lot of debt that has to be repaid. And it has to be repaid in blood, man. You got it, huh?
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9. Behold, the days of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger.
So that's what's supposed to be talked about right now, man. The day of the Lord is coming, and it's going to be cruel. The Lord has explained all kind of things that he's going to do to this place for these proud-ass people, man. All the hell that they don't put all over the planet, and they walk around like they ain't did nothing wrong, man. That's why it said, Job, the time of the hypocrite is short, man. This hypocritical nation, man, that enslave, commit genocide all across the planet, then walk around with Crocs and flip-flops on like they ain't did nothing wrong, like they earned everything they got, man. The Lord is going to destroy this place, man. You got it.
Isaiah 13 and 9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger,
Right.
to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
So if the Lord is going to destroy sinners, that means there's a law that's still in place for you to even sin against, man. You got it. You got it.
This is going into what you talked about, spirit on parts melting. This is Luke chapter 21 and verse, I'll read from verse 25. This is written in the red letters. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distresses of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Verse 26, men's hearts failing them for fear and looking for after those things which are coming on the earth, and for the powers of heaven shall be shaken.
Yeah, so it's gonna come a time where all these selfie men being lovers of themselves, man, taking selfies, acting all tough online, creating world star moments, all those things are gonna be brought to naught, and these people are gonna cry like women. The mighty men shall cry their bitterly, man. All these guys who laugh and think they're hard, man, in that day, the Lord's gonna remove all that confidence from them, man.
That's spirit. All right, verse 27, and then they shall see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory.
Right.
And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up, lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Woo.
And we just had, the brother said the signs in the heavens, we just had the longest total lunar eclipse of the century, man. The Lord is completing prophecy before our very eyes, man, and that should be the message that's preached out here on the highways and hedges, man. And that's what's being preached by the nation of Yasharahla who were given these prophecies. That's why they're coming back into their heritage and they're breaking them down, man.
The scripture says the spirit of the prophet is subject unto the prophet, man.
So they're just completing the sentence, man. The prophets wrote the sentence down and they hit a comma because they didn't have the whole message. They had to hit a comma. Now, in the last days, these prophets are coming back and they're putting periods on these sentences, man. You got it,
It's Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And that's what the message is supposed to be in these last days. The Lord said there's a time to love and there's a time to hate, man. There's a time to kill, there's a time for peace and there's a time for war. We're in a time of war and hate, man. And you can see that all over the planet. And the Lord said that as in the days of old, man.
See this out?
You got it.
Hey, when you look at all these kingdoms that reigned on the planet Earth, the Most High always sent his prophets out to condemn that place, man. You had Babylon, the prophets out there condemning that. You know, all these kingdoms. Well, guess what? In America, the Most High has his prophets doing the same exact thing, condemning this place before it actually gets destroyed by the hands of the Most High, man.
I got it.
You know? And look at this now. Going back into Donald Trump and prophecy against America getting nuked by enemies and allied forces. Just watch the news, man. But guess what? These so-called rednecks or these honky fucking crackers, when Trump came into power, they were happy, man. Especially after the fact that they just got rid of a black president, so-called black president, man. Hey, they showed their true colors. But guess what? The trick bag is that this same president is getting ready to get this place nuked. So what the fuck is a Confederate flag gonna do for you when a nuke is on its way, man? What is any of that gonna do? Now you're running scared, man. Where you at now? Where you at now? You know? Hey, the spirit of the Lord is a beautiful spirit, man. And he always got motherfuckers in trick bags, man. You know? Go ahead, huh? I just have to get over my foot. Yeah.
Matthew chapter 18, verse 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall not be found no more at all. And that Babylon goes to America, man. They're supposed to be out here on the highways and hedges prophesying the downfall of Babylon, man. They're supposed to be able to tell you what Babylon is, where it is, man. What's the great city? If you're not able to break down these scriptures, you have need to be taught again, man. But it's not given to these other nations, man. That's why the Lord had to set up his prophets, his nation. All prophecies have come through the nation of Yasharahla, the nation of Israel. All prophets have come through the nation of Israel. Nothing changes, man. So-called white man was proud in the evil day of Babylonian captivity. He's proud now. But this is the time when all captivities have to be paid. All those debts have to be paid now. And you can't take the scriptures and find your own lust in it that's going to change the will of YAHAWASHI, man. You got it.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50. Start at verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
Right.
How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
And Babylon, which is America, is becoming a desolation. I forget who it was, but a guy told, analyst had said that the Soviet Union had failed, and America really fell too. It was just going to take 20 or 30 years for it to actually manifest, man. And now we're witnessing the manifestation of the deterioration of this country, man. And it's all according to prophecy, because what you sow, you reap, period, man. All these prophecies are precedents. When judges sit in courtrooms, they use precedents to come up with a judgment. Sodom and Gomorrah was a precedent for what you do with sexual immorality, all right? And all kind of perversions. Nineveh was an example. Babylon, all of these cities were examples, all of these civilizations were examples of what happens when a city or a country lives wickedly, man. And deliciously without regarding the Lord or his people, man. The Lord said he's going to top the exodus of Egypt. And with Egypt's exodus, it didn't just go quick. There were slow plagues, pestilence, there was famine. And that's what you see now, man. The agriculture in this country is being destroyed, man. Not only is the agriculture being destroyed, but the so-called illegal immigrants that actually fuel the agriculture department is being persecuted, man. So there's a famine coming to America as well, man. Because what you reap, what you sow, you reap, man. This place has sown violence, man.
We're safe.
So the Lord is going to destroy this place for what it's done, man.